What's up guys, Matt
and Blake
from the Football Boots team, and today Nike have managed to release one more pack for the 2016-17 season, and trust me, it's incredibly bold. It's called the Elite Champions pack, and in my opinion I think it's one of the most flash collections I've seen by Nike in the last few years. So what we'll be doing today is checking out each boot and seeing what it has to offer, but let's get right into the video. So the Elite Champions pack is all about adding blues, oranges and silvers onto each individual Nike boot, but there's also some really special star and silver detailing. So Blake, take it away with the first one.
So the Magista Tiempo 2, this is probably the most basic one in the collection. It's pretty much all navy blue. It's got a bit of silver detailing on the swoosh logos and on the sole plate, and that vault trim on the border of the swoosh logo and on the stud tips, with a bit of orange on the stud tips as well. Maddie, what do you think?
Now, what I'm going to start with is going to be by saying that I'm not actually the biggest fan of this pack overall, but do watch each one to see what one is your favourite, because I do have a favourite in the pack. But that Magista Tiempo 2 has that dark blue base coat all across the boot, which I don't actually mind too much because it is just one colour base coat, which I think is the key. There's not too much going on. You can't really see the dimples because it is just that one tone. And of course, we do have that silver swoosh, which has some star detailing.
Yeah, so the one thing you see on this Magista Tiempo 2 is that the heat map design is not on this boot, and that already for me is a winner.
So we've just talked about the mid-cut Tiempo 2, so let's talk about the much more popular low-cut Magista Opus 2. Now what we're looking at here.
So it's virtually the same design, that same navy blue and silver design with a bit of vault on the studs and on the swoosh borders. Overall, I probably prefer this one over the Obra. What about you, Maddie?
Do you know what? I think I prefer the Obra, take away the collar. But what I do like so much about the Opus 2 now is that Nike actually changed it. So thumbs up to Nike. Obviously, a lot of pros and also amateurs out there were wearing the Opus 2 with that exposed dimple upper. They didn't like it, they got the feedback, and they changed it. So a big thumbs up, because now I think it's very comfortable and also a pretty good boot. But that's the Magista wrapped up. So let's move on to the next silo. So up next is probably my own personal favourite boot of the Elite Champions pack, and that is the Tiempo Legend 6, and it might be one of the final Legend 6s we see before upgrading to the 7. So what are we looking at?
So we're looking at a mostly navy design, a bit of orange on that bottom of the sole plate there on the heel counter. Swoosh logo is all silver, I definitely like that touch, and vault yellow on the Tiempo and Nike swooshes on the sole plate. Maddie, what do you think?
Do you know what? I actually do like this design. I love orange on football boots, and when I think about blue and orange boots, I think about Puma when they do their tricks. I think they do it really well, and I think in this situation with Nike, I think they've done well as well. Now, when we're talking about the Legend 6 going to the Legend 7, it's going to be a lot more different materials next up in the Legend 7. So far in the Legend 6, it's quite leather infused, K-leather across the majority of the boot apart from that heel counter. But next time around in the Legend 7 coming up, we might even see some Flyknit. So here we go with, in my opinion, the most technology advanced boot I have ever seen on the market, and that is the Hypervenom Phantom 3DF. Now, what's the actual design about and also the technology?
So this is probably the boldest design in the pack. It's so bold, I wouldn't go as far as getting it, but it's got orange on the lateral and navy blue on the medial, silver swoosh logos with a bit of vault trim on the sock liners. On the sock liners, you see that star pattern. You'll see that star pattern on all the sock liners in the Elite Champions pack, and a bit more vault yellow on that sort of forefoot there. Maddie, what do you think?
Do you know what? I love the Hypervenom silo. I think for me, it's my favourite silo of the Nike collection of all. But this colourway, it's a big no-no for me. I just don't like the design. With that diagonal half and half, I think Nike have really ruined it, because the Strike Night pack, which was all black with a little bit of red and silver, I thought that looked incredible. And I think with that kind of design, that structure of just the one base coat with a couple of added extras, you could create some really nice designs out there. But I think the navy blue and the orange this time around, it's just a little bit too much going on. But I can appreciate with that star detailing. I think that's a really nice touch on the Elite Champions pack. So mid-cut to low-cut, we now have the Hypervenom Phantom 3 low, and obviously this is the boot that Harry Kane wore all season, scoring 29 goals. What a season that guy had, and he had like 3 months out through injury as well. So without that, he could have even broken the 30 goal mark, which would have been an incredible achievement. Great season from Harry Kane. But what's the boot looking like?
So it's pretty much the same as the Phantom 3. Take out the DF, the Phantom 3 collar, and you've got a low-cut design. Is it the best boot on the market, Maddie?
I think it is actually the best boot on the market. I think it's so comfortable wearing these. Comfort is brilliant, but also the enhancements to performance are actually really strong as well. So I think it's a really classy, and it's a little bit of a shame that there's not going to be many players actually wearing these, because the season is now finished. So obviously by the time you see them again next season, this colourway will be all gone and Nike would have released a new one. So here we go with the ridiculously popular Mercurial Superfly 5. Now this specific boot has been out for a while, but in this Elite Champions pack there's something completely different, brand new happening on this boot. Now, what actually is that?
So the first thing you'll notice is that brand new Nike logo on the medial. So big, bold Nike logo. Nike tend to change the design templates mid-generation, and they've done this with the Superfly. So a big Nike logo on the medial in Volt yellow. The rest of the boot has that navy and orange design with chrome silver on the sole plate there, really nice, and on the swoosh logo. Maddie, would you wear it?
I wouldn't wear the Superfly 5 and I wouldn't wear this actual colourway, so it's probably a cross for me on this one. But what I don't really understand is that they've given that Nike stamp on the medial side of the boot, which is quite retro. Now, I do like a vintage touch, and I think it definitely has that, but I just think it's too busy again. That's all, and obviously it comes with that different colourway on top of that upper as well, so I think it's just a little bit too busy, but I do like the retro touch.
It does remind me a lot of the Vapor 9. Remember the Vapor 9 had that Nike logo on the instep, pretty much on the heel to the midfoot. That was sort of what it's reminiscent of, isn't it? And also, one last thing on the swoosh logos themselves, they've actually got a star pattern. It's quite a nice touch to this colourway.
So we've just had the Superfly 5 and now we've got the Vapor 11, and although they're both Mercurial models, they are incredibly different. So what are the differences between each boot, and also what ones do you prefer?
So I think the main difference is the high cut and low cut design. The Superfly has the collar, so it's got that mid cut design, and the Vapor has a traditional low cut design. That for me does it. I'd go for the Vapor just on that reason. But the Vapor has a really nice Tigen synthetic upper. That's the main difference to the Flyknit upper on the Superfly. In terms of design, the main change is that the Vapor actually has a bit more of a print. So it's going to be a bit bolder on the Vapor than on the Superfly. Which one would you go for?
I'll go for the Superfly, but hopefully in the Superfly 6, they actually make that collar a little bit shorter. I think that's what's going to happen from what we've seen with players in training in blackout boots. They are going to make that collar a little bit shorter, but obviously there's another special thing about these Elite Champions Pack boots, which we're going to get into now. So guys, as you can see from the picture, something special is happening with these boots. Blake, what is it?
So on all solos, the swoosh logos are reflective. So with the camera flash or in a night game, a floodlit game, the swoosh logos will light up. I think that's a really nice touch. You've got the star pattern. You've also got reflective swoosh logos. Really, really nice touch, Maddie.
Yep, so that pretty much wraps up the entire video for the Elite Champions Pack. Me, myself, personally, I'm going with the Tiempo Legend 6 as my favourite. What about you?
The Vapor.
The Vapor. But what about you guys? Vote in a poll card now for your own personal favourite, and in the comment section below, let us know what you think about the collection as well. Is it one for you? Is it a cop or is it drop? Please let us know. But guys, that's the video, so thanks for watching as always.
We'll see you next time.